On to the next though. We getting into these conversations, man. We're gonna start talking about the what do they call these? The
Superlatives.
superlative. Bro, I can never say that word.
He was about to.
Yeah, we about to get into the superlatives though. We gonna stop laughing at
Should
me,
let
bro.
him say it.
You gonna start? You gonna start with MVP? You gonna go
That's
ahead, tease.
everyone. It shouldn't even matter. It should be unanimous.
Yo, Jack.
Think so?
Johnny boy.
You think so?
Johnny boy.
Johnny.
Give it to Brock Purdy. No, I'm just playing.
Josh Allen.
No. Yeah, my number one for MVP, definitely Lamar Jackson. Ravens bias aside. I mean, you just got to look at body of work. You got the best record in the NFL. You have the number one seed in the AFC, and then on top of that, you beat 10 teams that were above that were 500 teams, and that's a record, by the way. And then Lamar Jackson, he has 4,500 total yards, and then he had, I believe, it was 29 total touchdowns and 13 total turnovers. So he had a very solid year. And one thing that I want people to really understand, I know Lamar doesn't have the touchdowns Josh Allen does and all that type of stuff, but the Ravens running backs have 20 scored touchdowns this year. And out of all those touchdowns that the Ravens scored, 15 of them came inside the 5-yard line. Lamar Jackson made the plays for the offense. He got them in scoring position every time. He just doesn't have the touchdown numbers. Simple as that. Lamar Jackson's the MVP in my eyes. And then for runner-up, I got Josh Allen. I do got Josh Allen. I was gonna say Dak, but Josh Allen's my runner-up.
There's not
I
even
just
runner-up.
the real runner-up will probably be CMC. But CMC's gonna
It better be.
CMC's my offensive player of the year. So I kind of just went quarterback for my MVP picks because I'm already knowing the running back's not getting MVP. So
Yeah.
I had Josh Allen for my runner up. He had 4,800 total yards, 44 touchdowns, and 22 turnovers. He got the Bills to the second seed. He rallied. They thought they weren't making the playoffs for a while. Regardless of how many turnovers Josh Allen had and all that stuff, he came back and he got his team to the number 2 seed. Kudos to him, all that type of stuff. And then, Dak Prescott's my third for MVP. He had, I think it was like 4,800 total yards and like 38 touchdowns. But I mean, you saw what he didn't show up against 500 teams. I should just say good teams in general. They were kind of the NFC version of the Dolphins. And then, we saw what happened to him in the first round of the playoffs. And, that's just my picks for MVP. Let me know yours.
I mean,
I think it's
I
kinda
agree with
unanimous.
everything you're saying. Other than the Josh Allen, I just don't want to put him in that runner-up spot, just because I don't see as a quarterback how you don't take care of the football and you go out there and you can be a runner-up. So I agree with Kale putting CMC in that spot.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm an advocate for having other players win, those position awards like MVP. I want it to be actual MVPs, not just quarterbacks, offensive player of the year, or sorry, defensive player of the year, not just being linemen and rushers. Like, I want to see other positions win those. So yeah, it would be cool to see CMC be the runner up. At least.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
I agree. I just know it's never happening.
I have him offensive player of the year too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so Peace, you got anything to add on to that?
It's basically all the same. LJ
Offensive
MVP,
player of the
MC
year.
offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Miles Garrett defensive player of the year.
No.
Moving too fast. Slow down.
And then since we're on CMC,
offensive player of the year, we all got CMC, right?
Yeah. 339 total touches, 2,023 total yards, and 21 touchdowns. He went crazy.
That is crazy.
Bro, it's insane.
Definitely the most valuable player on that 49ers team. Argue the war. Argue the war.
He definitely going down as one of the best players we've probably ever seen in our generation.
No, for sure.
And for him to play,
if he gets his chip, he
played every game, didn't he?
I think he went out in a few second halves, but I don't know. And they rested him. They rested him week 18 too.
But for a running back to have that many touches, see the ball that much, and be able to be in every game,
almost 350 touches, man. But no, I think if he gets a chip, even if he doesn't get a chip,
chiropractor, bro, his PT, bro, everything, bro.
No, even if CMC doesn't get a chip, I still think he's probably going to end up being a first ballot Hall of Fame.
CMC 2K next year. Probably not.
No, he'll never reach 2,000 rushing yards. They'll never get him there. Yeah, he'll probably. I wouldn't put it past him to have another 2,000 all-purpose yard season, but he'll never get 2,000 rushing yards. That like.
I'll make the call. Man. Don't worry. I'll make the call.
Yeah, here he
I hate
goes.
this.
But yeah, and
CMC
then I got Tyreek Hill as my runner-up just because I like Tyreek Hill as much as you want to say like wide receivers are dependent on a quarterback. Tua was a quarterback that was dependent on a wide receiver. Let's just be real. Tyreek, he had 119 receptions. He had 1,800 yards, and he had 13 touchdowns. That's my runner-up for Offensive Player of the Year. Then in my number 3 spot, I got CeeDee Lamb. You know, he almost got the triple crown, but Tyreek got him in the last game. And he had 135 receptions, 1,749 yards, and 12 touchdowns. But like I said, going into Tyreek's game, CD had the triple crown, but after Tyreek played, obviously he didn't have the triple crown anymore. But yeah, CD Lamb's my 3rd for Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a big drop off, to be honest. For that, I think it's pretty big. I mean, it might not be as big between 1 and 2, but like once you get to 3, I feel like it drops off a little bit. Yeah. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, don't get me wrong, he played a great season.
He balled out for sure.
But I think it's a pretty significant gap.
No, and Tyreek dropped a lot of balls too. Like Tyreek really could have ran away with the award. But I think Tyreek Hill. I think he had some timely drops against the Chiefs. He dropped a touchdown against the Ravens. Like I'd say Tyreek dropped at least 3 touchdowns this year. He dropped one clear one. Against the Ravens, and then there was some I saw against the Chiefs that like he was wide, and he even dropped some in Buffalo in that Week 18 game too. But he also, I forget what week he injured his hand too, so that probably has something to do with it as well.
He was pretty banged up with playing against the Bills, I think.
Yeah, his hand, his ankle. Great season though.
Yeah, for sure.
And then moving on to Defensive Player of the Year.
We not here. Rookie first year.
We'll do those together. We'll pair those. Defensive.
I got TJ Watt, and I'm gonna go back to a name I mentioned earlier. I think he's under the radar. I think he's not really getting the respect he deserves from the season that he had. Khalil Mack. Second.
Yeah, I don't think Khalil had I don't think he had a bad season. I think it was just the consistency factor of like, bro, you made plays. And we love the plays, but don't leave them all in one game.
Yeah, he just had multiple games where like he had the 6-sack game, then I think he had another 4-sack game. Like that's 10 sacks right there out of his 17 in 2 games.
And I mean, you can't
17 and a half.
That's crazy.
17 and a half.
But
yeah,
we're talking of the year.
That's crazy things to do, but I'm just saying when we're talking about Defensive Player of the Year, you have to be doing it week in and week out.
I mean, 5 forced fumbles, 70 tackles.
I respect the season.
Imagine doing that since the season started. He probably could have broke them. Then like Michael Strahan had like 50 sacks or some shit.
22 and a half.
I'm tripping. My fault. I'm tripping. I don't know what I was thinking of something else.
But yeah, you know,
bro. That's like damn near 3 a game, bro.
Yeah, no, that
50 is crazy. I mean, but he did get 6 in one. For Khalil, if you get 6 in one game, and then it's possible to at least get to a game and keep it above.
He
ain't played that hard again.
Khalil Mack didn't have a sack until week 5. Then he had 6. He had 1 the next game, had 0 the next 2, 2, 0, 2, 2, 2, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. So like, and which I know that's not the only thing because he was racking up the tackles for sure. I mean, 57 solo tackles in his.
He was on the field all game. Like, are we serious? After Justin Herbert went out, he was on the field all game against the Raiders. Like, come on, bro. Nah, I don't want to
tackle that game.
I don't want to diminish the great season he had. He did have a great season. I just don't think. I think when we're talking about like just like how we were talking about like with MVP and all that stuff, like the numbers aren't there for the MVP, but for here his numbers are there, but they don't tell the whole story. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? But yeah, my defensive player of the year is definitely TJ Watt. I don't understand the Myles Garrett defensive player of the year. Browns fans are probably gonna crucify me for it. T's sitting there upset. He about to punch his desk, but like, well, I just don't understand it. It's even just the eye test. I just don't see it with my eyes. Like, and just stats, just the stats along with it. I really just don't see it. Myles Garrett is a great player. He's a great edge, but he's just not the defensive player of the year. Like, I feel like this is another Aaron Donald versus TJ Watt year. Like TJ has 19 and a half sacks. He has an interception, 68 combined tackles, and 19 TFLs. And him and Myles Garrett played the same amount of games, but
He
Myles
almost got a
Garrett's favored to
touchdown.
get defensive player.
Or forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries.
Yeah, the forced fumbles too. Didn't put that in there. Sorry, but yeah, TJ Watt is definitely my defensive player of the year. And then yeah, I got Myles Garrett second. 14 sacks, 42 combined, 17 TFLs. Which like, bro, that's literally not comparable. He has 5.5 more sacks, over 25 more tackles. The TFLs were the only things that's close. 19
So
compared to
here's,
17.
I mean, y'all know who my defensive player of the year is, but before
Did
we
we
let
watch
Chief
the
go,
games? Like, did we not
but
watch the
no, but
game?
look, let me say this. So here's what the argument, because I was really trying to put myself in the shoes of Myles Garrett D writers. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out what they're talking about. They're saying like, well, you got a game plan against Myles Garrett. TJ Watt kind of just ends up and he pops up in the game. He
No,
pops up
but
in the game and he'll do something,
and
whatever that
Tease,
I
is.
don't
when we're
know where
talking
you
about
heard that from. I don't know
Tease,
where you heard
Tease,
that from.
you're talking about watching the games. You realize TJ Watt won the Steelers like 3 games this year, right? He sacked Lamar in Baltimore. Oh no, that was the game. That was the game that was in what's it called in Pittsburgh. Sorry, he sacked Lamar on 4th down to end that game, and then you saw what he did against the Browns.
First of all,
You saw what
how
he did
many
against the
touchdowns did
Browns.
your receivers drop that game?
Yes,
That's
touchdowns aside, but I'm
they're
What is
saying
you?
wrong.
That game should never even been close.
he
They had
still
nothing
won.
but fluke
He
games.
he won that game though. He got 2 sacks back to back on 3rd down and 4th down to win that game.
He a great player. I'm gonna give him kudos, but
I'm saying
No,
TJ Watt TJ Watt's the Steelers MVP. If you want
no,
like
absolutely. He's
he's
been
the
our MVP
heart
for
and
like
soul of this. There is no Steelers without TJ
that's what
Watt.
I'm
We see this
saying.
already.
What are you talking
Lamar
about? We're
But
talking about
but
watching
the thing
games.
is,
When you
if
watch
Myles
games,
Garrett
TJ
wasn't getting
Watt's
locked up by
impact on a
somebody named
game
Jeremy in
cannot
a
be
playoff game,
replicated.
he
It's
would have
not
got
close to
it
Miles
would have
Garrett's
been
either.
him.
Peace.
Because
You do
I'm not
understand that
look.
without TJ Watt in his career, the Steelers are 1 of 11. 1 of 11 without a defensive player on that
Look,
side of the
I
ball.
ain't gonna fake. I'm keeping the buck. Like I don't disagree with y'all with him, defensive player of the year. But
Okay.
what I'm saying is,
And
if Myles Garrett was getting, if y'all watch the game, this nigga T.J. Watt, how should I put this?
He about to do
Because I don't
another
want to sound
thing.
like Zane say he getting unblocked all game and shit. I don't want to say no shit like that. But he had a lot of free access that Myles Garrett did. I'm gonna
You
keep
don't
that. But
believe that.
if Myles Garrett wasn't getting locked up by who Jeremy, what's his name? Jeremy Thompson? If he wasn't getting locked up by Cuz in that game, I already hate that he was a fraud. I ain't saying.
so I don't like those. I don't like that comp with the Laramie Tunsil because I mean they locked up TJ and Highsmith that same game with like 3rd string. That's just better coaching. You know what I'm saying? They were getting that ball out quick. But I don't
Yeah, but
I don't
they wasn't getting
dislike
the ball off quick. He
Garrett.
was in that pocket comfort. Nigga, he could have drunk some lemonade and ate a sandwich and not get touched.
No, I don't dislike Myles Garrett, and I do think TJ and Myles Garrett are 1A, 1B. It's just a matter of who actually had the better season. You know what I'm saying? Like both of them are game disruptors. They can flip the momentum of the game in a single play, and then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like anything against him. It's just like okay, the eye test is for both of them. Oh, we see that TJ's a factor all game long. We're trying to scheme against this guy. We're trying to scheme against Miles. But when you look at the stats, now you got to look to the stats because it's beyond the game. They're both naturally gifted in the game in different ways, obviously. But they both got it. Now you got to look at the stat.
I think it would be a little bit closer if Miles Garrett
Next year.
if he was a little more healthy. I mean, I know TJ Watt also dealt with things too, but like I'm pretty sure wasn't it Miles Garrett's shoulder that was hurt?
He has some lingering shoulder.
You're a Browns fan. Do you not know this?
No, he doesn't.
Nigga, I be forgetting
You
shit.
hear what you just said? Browns
Injuries,
fan.
injuries,
Browns
injuries I
aside,
pay
he's
attention to, but I
Martins.
don't pay attention to. But shit,
But
yeah, I
like
heard,
next,
bro.
like
He got
it's
injured.
always next season. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah,
wasn't Miles Garrett's
it
season.
was his left shoulder kill.
Yeah,
Structural
exactly.
damage.
So that's pretty big.
But as long as nobody random pops up like putting up crazy numbers next year, I think like it's really up to Miles Garrett. And it'll be his year. You're starting off at 0. All you got to do is be consistent throughout the season.
Here,
We seen you put the
Nigga,
numbers up.
I'm afraid
Yeah.
Khalil Mack gonna be old as hell doing bullshit.
let me
6 sacks a game is crazy.
let
I
me be
mean,
a
6 sacks in one game is crazy.
let me be a Braylon role here. Well, if Micah Parsons didn't get held every game, he would be in the conversation too,
Bro,
guys.
come on, bro.
Micah is cool. They're trying to play him in a way that he shouldn't have to play, which I think is one. Like he's so versatile. Just
They try to
I don't
play
know why
him.
he.
They try to play him like TJ, but they drop Micah in the coverage way more than TJ drops in the coverage.
Yeah, and with the holding thing, which that's like a benefit too, because then you got to guess like, is he actually gonna rush? Which people don't understand. But like at the same time, you can't.
No, he does
You
get
can't
held.
really play
I will
holding.
say he does get held a lot, and it doesn't get
But
called.
they all do. Miles and TJ get held just as much.
No, but I'm saying like Micah's be egregious. Like I'm talking like linemen will literally hug, bro, and then like nah, his be crazy.
Yeah, his is way worse than those two. Like way
Oh,
worse.
I feel like he also kind of
I'll
got
admit that I don't watch
demoralized
the
in
Cowboys.
fucking
I'll admit
49ers.
that I don't watch the Cowboys as much, but when I watch them, it is bad holding. But like, I feel like it looks the same when I watch Miles and I watch TJ and
You
even
know
Max
you
Crosby.
lying.
Sometimes
You
Yeah,
know you lying.
you are.
Crosby get the calls at least. He really just an effort player. That's
No,
what Zay was talking
no.
about.
Crosby is the definite. Like what Zay was talking about with TJ. That is Max Crosby.
That,
Cause
yes, bro. I don't know how he be getting off.
nah, no. Like Max Crosby, I'm telling you, bro. He'll miss a sack. Quarterback start running down the field. Bro,
Straight grit.
Max Crosby be flipping field to get a tackle that he missed at the beginning of the play, bro. No.
Oh, I would love to
None of
see
them.
him
Straight
win
grit.
Player of the Year, man. I would love to see that.
Max Crosby, we mess with that black nigga though.
For sure.
Hey.
He said, "Y'all better get out here."
No, bro. You gotta really. He said, "Y'all nigga."
Raider Nation, what is up? It's Max Crosby in the building. Just got done with practice. I just want to say Sunday, y'all need to be out in Allegiant in full effect. It's about to be a movie.
You gotta throw the clip in there,
Bro,
bro.
I'm obviously throwing that in there, bro. But nah.
Bro, he's
And
so
then we get done with Defensive Player of the Year, man. We'll move to the Rookie Awards. No, Comeback Player of the Year. My bad. But I think everybody can agree Comeback Player of the Year is already decided. It's going to be DeMar Hamlin. Even though Joe Flacco had a great year, like DeMar Hamlin died on the football field and then played football again.
Shut up,
I like
Tease.
Baker.
Don't even say it.
I like Baker, to be honest.
I like Baker too. I like Baker as well, but it's just the fact that like DeMar Hamlin his heart literally stopped on a football field. That counts as being dead. And he came back and played football again one season later. There's no way they don't give it to him.
Like if that didn't happen, I would much rather see Baker Mayfield win it over Joe Flacco. Like Flacco's numbers are so all over the place.
No, Baker had a great year. Baker played himself into a very good contract. I don't know if they give him that $40 million. I mean, if I'm Baker, I'm saying Daniel Jones made $40 million after throwing 16 touchdowns. Y'all better give me 40 M's.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera's
Give it to the real Joe Tracy. I'm standing on Joe Flacco.
All right, everybody but Marti says DeMar Hamlin's comeback player of the year because of his story. And then, offensive rookie of the year, just moving on to offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year to wrap it up. And actually, no, we got to get coach of the year at the end, too. But, offensive rookie of the year, I think it's pretty obvious. Just like MVP, they're going to give it to the quarterback. C.J. Stroud, he came in, he took his team to the playoffs. He missed it. He missed some games, too. Still got him there. And threw for 4,000 yards. I think that fourth or fifth rookie quarterbacks to ever do that in NFL history. But yeah, he had from what I looked at, he had 4,275 total yards, 26 touchdowns, and 9 turnovers in total. Won his division, made the playoffs in his first year as a starter. There's no way he doesn't get MVP. I mean, not sorry, offensive rookie of the year. My bad.
Yeah, it should be
In 3
unanimous.
years, CJ Stroud MVP.
Yeah, like Lamar said, he just getting started.
But I ain't gonna. It's so many rookies I fuck with this year, but it do gotta go. It do gotta go to CJ.
Yeah, and then runner up, we know it's going to be Puka. 105
Yeah.
catches as a rookie,
The
1,400
GOAT
yards,
Simone.
1,500 yards. My bad, because he had 1,486, 6 touchdowns. That's great, man.
Nothing else needs to be said. That's really self-explanatory. Those two. I mean, those are. I don't. I don't want to like go this far with it, but like they're pretty close. Like not close, but pretty close to like a once in like I don't know 7-year talent kind
Yeah.
of thing that you're gonna find in the draft.
No, my thing with especially why I would give it to CJ Stroud, it's just the fact that like he came in Matt Stafford's thrown to Puka and he has Sean McVay.
Yeah.
And then you look at CJ Stroud, nobody thought Nico Collins was all world. I said Tank Dell was gonna be nice, but hey, I know balls. So that's really not a big deal.
Everybody said that. Who said Tank Dell was gonna be trash?
I'm not even gonna start with him. I'm not even gonna start
Who
with him.
said Tank Dell was gonna be trash? Tell me
I'm not
right
even
now.
gonna start.
Marquise Winston is outside my
I'm
house.
not gonna start with him, bro. I'm not gonna start with him. But no, he
Who
came in.
said Tank Dell was going? Who said
CJ
Tank Dell
came
was?
in. CJ came in. He's playing the hardest position in all of sports, and it's his rookie season, and season for the ages. There's really no other argument when it comes to offensive rookie of the year.
Bro, let's move on, bro, so we can wrap this up.
Just because y'all niggas getting cooked don't
No,
make
this
sense.
is the end of the pod. Everybody knows Coach of the Year is D'Amico Ryans.
No, people argue Dan Campbell for sure.
But our
And we didn't
picks
talk
are
about we didn't talk about defensive rookie either. Or
Oh,
yeah,
It might be
defensive
Dan
rookie.
Campbell. No,
defensive rookie of the year. My pick for defensive rookie of the year is Will Anderson, and my runner up is Devin Witherspoon.
Yeah,
I got Devin Witherspoon.
I like
Jalen
DBs.
Carter.
Ew. Shut up. Hold on. Let's talk about coach of the year for real. Let's talk about it more than we did with defensive rookie of the year.
My coach of the year is
coach of the year.
Ryans.
I got D'Amico. He took that terrible record Texans and he turned them into some winners. Get that playoff win. Super young team took him out schemed tons of teams. You see what he did to the Browns, did to the Steelers, bro. He out schemed a lot of people this year, and I like D'Amico. A lot of people making an argument for Jack Campbell.
His win over the Browns should be like his sole the sole reason why he gets.
A lot of people argue. A lot of people keep arguing Jack Campbell, but to me,
Dan.
Sorry, I said Jack Campbell, didn't I?
Yeah.
A lot of people argue Dan Campbell, but to me, I think Dan Campbell is more of a player's coach. Which there's nothing wrong with. Obviously, his players are like ready to run through a wall for him. But you can't substitute that for actual strategy and preparation for the game. And it's just to me, it's not a.
So
I'm not gonna lie, Donovan.
Who coming up with the strategy?
Half of those, huh?
I'm talking about Donovan. So he just giving the speech and telling him, "Go play ball." Do you think that's what's going on?
Okay, yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not acting like I'm not trying to take anything away from Dan Campbell. Obviously, he's coached. He's their head coach, and like he's got a lot of say in what they do and stuff. But you know what I mean by like player coaches, right?
I know what you mean, but that's why like. But it ain't really no point in saying that because like what?
I'm just saying like players coach is somebody who isn't really depending on like the people that he's bringing around or anything like that. It's more so like
still got to do work.
My players. Yeah, no. Like I said, I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I just think that D'Amico has the up on him when it comes to that.
I mean, yeah, The
Oh,
Lions was
that
horrible
Lions
last year.
team. That Lions team was
They had
What
four.
what are we
I'm
talking
saying
about?
Dan
First team
Campbell's been there
guys.
for a while though. He's been there for 3 years.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Great rebuild.
D'Amico did
D'Amico
it in
just
1
did it
year.
faster.
D'Amico did it in 1 year.
In jail for this, so nasty.